TAGNBRAG Nation and Rocky fam, for one final time in 2024, welcome back to Food Plot Chronicles. Yeah, I said it, this is the finale episode. Now, we took you guys on a little bit of a different journey this year. We actually talked about the setups, the blind placements, where we hang our tree stands, some trail camera assessments, all around how and why we plant these food plots the way that we do. My goodness, I cannot wait to send you guys to the field for you guys to see what the results are from this year. I've said it once and I'm gonna say it again. Deano is a food plot genius. He's like the second coming of Mark Drury. Only way better because he's on our team. The corn and the beans look absolutely phenomenal. The clover plots are garnishing deer on a daily basis. There are apple trees blossoming on all parts of the hill. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna keep you anymore. Let's meet Deano in the field and check out the results from Food Plot Chronicles Season 6. Ladies and gents, welcome to the final showdown of Food Plot Chronicles. We are in the second week of August. The summer it's on its back half. It's winding down. Time is flying. I feel like the last 4 or 5 summers have just flown by. Maybe it's because we're doing a lot of work and we're having a lot of fun doing it. Time flies when you're having fun, right folks? But at this point, the food plots are in, can take a little bit of a break, but the work is not done yet. We're just kind of reviewing everything that's gone on this summer. Some things look excellent, some things look okay, some things not so great, but that's what happens when you're a farmer. You can't control certain things, the main thing being Mother Nature. You gotta take what she gives you and you gotta adjust. But we have worked so hard on this one section of our property, and we've got an awesome clover plot back in the cover, surrounded by a bunch of apple trees, which makes sense. That's where apple trees grow, where there's a lot of cover. And we've got a lower and an upper destination food source to kind of create these deer funneling out of our thick swamp bottom, coming up through the cover, feeding on these apple trees and everything through that clover plot, and then they can kind of go low or go high to these destination food plots. It's really an awesome setup that we're excited to hunt this year. We've got great moon-shaped corn on this lower field to kind of protect the deer from pressure from the road. Beans on the inside, and we got the turnips that are just starting to sprout through with all the rain that we got this week. They're looking really good. And then the upper side, we got a little bit of turnips and a bunch of corn up there. And these deer can take either side of this ravine and come to the lower field or the upper field. But the main hunting is going to be on that clover plot back in the timber, surrounded by, not in the timber, in the cover, surrounded by all those apple trees. We've gotten so many daylight pictures and videos this summer of good bucks, and it's just because there's great food and cover in there. They're bedding right there. If you're getting photos of bucks at noon, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., they're bedding literally right there. That's partially why I'm not going in there right now. I know they're close. And we moved, this springtime, we moved the blind that's in there, hard blind, from the back side of it to the front side of it. And the main reason we did that was access. Before, we had to kind of walk through the plot to get, with the wind at our back, to hunt a south wind on the back side of the food plot. And it was just hard to get in and out of there. We didn't want to go in there a ton, so we didn't hunt it enough. So this spring, we moved it to the front side where we can sneak in from the road, walk through the cover, and slip into the blind and actually hunt a north wind. And it's going to provide so much more hunting for us because we'll get in and out of there undetected. We won't feel so bad going in and out of there, and we're gonna bow hunt it so much more with that dynamite hard blind move this springtime. So that's going to provide some great hunting, and these upper and lower destination fields are gonna complement that clover plot in there. It's an awesome little ecosystem that we created. I'm excited to hunt it this fall. It looks really good. Corn looks good, beans look good. Turnips are just coming up. And then at the top of the hill up there, if we want to, in the fall, we can slip an XOP. You can see a good tree right in there. It's got less trimming to do, or we got a nice tree right in there. We can slip an XOP into bow hunt. The deer coming out into these beans and turnips. And then the upper field, we've got an XOP set up right at the mouth of the food plot that we're gonna be hunting this October. You can count on that. This whole section of the property we're really excited to hunt. It's transformed. We have some spots in our corn where the corn is significantly lower than other locations, kind of right in front of me. Like you can see this corn is only about, it's belly button high, and it's still got a little bit to grow. I did plant it late, but there's other spots of the corn that I planted at the same time that are over my head right now. And I'm gonna actually take a couple soil sample kits from Whitetail Institute and test the soil out. I didn't have a chance to do that this summer in this particular plot because we turned it and planted it so fast, and it was super late because the neighbor hated it, and we waited until he was done and then had to get right to work. So oh, that thing's still shocking. We just never got the chance to get a soil sample because we didn't have the time to wait for it. So we just did what we did this summer, and I kind of expected it not to be very good, but it actually turned out much better than I thought, although there are some small spots in the corn where I am going to test the soil because I know it's really bad. And it's definitely in areas in this field, like localized areas, because you could tell when I was plowing it, different color soils, different things growing in it that you could tell are probably more lower pH'd areas. So we're gonna test it, and I just would want to be curious of what's going on with the soil and why things grew the way they grew, and I can kind of get out in front of it next spring to try to correct it. So something that I've not done before, but I'm gonna do this year, try it out. But man, the beans look really good. They dealt with a lot of deer pressure early in the summer, and we planted these late again, and I put the fence up probably too late, but they're getting up to enough height where they'll get some beans on them and provide some good quality food for the deer. Go to the other side of our property here, and this is another area, food plot architecture area we spend a lot of time on. And we put corn in this area last year, turned out really good, so we did it again. There's a couple spots where it didn't grow very good. We had to replant, or it didn't grow at all. We had to replant, and it just didn't come up very good. There's a lot of gravel in here, and it's very tough to grow corn in, but as you can see here, a lot of it came up very nice. Good sized cobs already, still getting bigger. And the main part of our food plot, which is always beans, as we've told you in the past, we always have trouble growing beans in here because there's so much deer pressure. And look at our corn. I mean, it's 9 feet tall. We got a big section of it in here, and the rest we surrounded with wintergreens from Whitetail Institute. It's all around the backside. And then we got a section of clover over there. Corn goes all the way down parallel with the road, and a big section of clover down there. We got 2 blinds on either end of it. Easy access behind this corn, and in the cover down there. We're not far off the road, so you can pop into these blinds very, very easily. Access is key. Get in without being detected, and you got pretty much any food source available for these deer to be able to look out over during the season. Both spots can be hunted gun or bow. They have green in front of both stands. And our biggest motive here is to give the deer, we definitely wanted to give them green and grain, and there's some apple trees surrounding the whole area. But once this corn browns out, they start eating it in October, November. And once it dries out, we got beautiful green around, surrounding the corn. Green to grain transfers, Mark Drury talks about it. We got turnips, brassicas, wintergreens, and then we got clover on both sides of it. So they have several different types of green to choose from, and they have a whole lot of corn, that high fat corn for late season. So hopefully we never have a lot of deer in here late seasons because we just don't have the food. So we were trying to change that a little bit. Hopefully this corn provides that. It's so tall. We planted it a little bit thick, so the cobs might not get quite as big as we want them to, but I can see a ton in there already, and they're already a good size. And this stuff just started tasseling, I don't know, maybe 10 days ago, so they're gonna get bigger. But this is an awesome food plot. Love how it turned out. And we got 2 blinds set up perfectly on it for access. It should provide great hunting for the fall here. We got lots of food, folks, lots of food, lots of blockage from the road to keep pressure off the deer, allow them to be out in these fields in daylight, which is what you need to be able to hunt them. Gosh, I can't wait. Cannot wait. All right, folks, our last field to check out here. We spend a lot of time on it, and it usually pays off for us very well. We sneak in down this fence line, and you can come in right here. It provides a little slit through the cover to get in. We brush hog, whoop, right through here. We planted corn along that fence to kind of give us a barrier from the other cover that's on the other side of the, well, away from the fence, I should say. And then you come in and look at this wall of corn. It just grew awesome. I had to come in here and replant because something happened. We just didn't get good germination with our corn, and thank God I did, because look at it. You can get in and out of this blind, no problem. And just a wall of corn, nothing seeing you, getting in and out of this spot. And access is key. Not pressuring deer is key, especially on food plots where a lot of deer spend time. Into the hardwoods, it's a little bit different. You still want good access, but it's kind of by chance if you bump deer or not. You know they're going to be on food, so you got to have good access in and out of these spots. We've architected this plot the same way we've done the last couple years because it's worked so well. Give it ourselves the blockage on the inside, and then everything else is out in front of us. We moved this to a hard blind this year because we normally hunt this with a south wind. It's right in our face. But sometimes it's southwest, it blows, it kind of swirls throughout this field. Even with a south wind, sometimes deer coming out in that corner, they get a wind, they get a whiff of you. So the hard blind gives us that added protection from the wind. We fenced this plot early. The beans are over waist high inside the fence, which is exactly what we want. And there's plenty of beans outside the fence to give deer their browse, or give deer that craving satisfaction that they want to get in there. It keeps them from getting in there. So we'll leave this fence up almost till season and let them browse out the outside. Got some wintergreens around the outside. This field is looking awesome, pretty incredible. It's been an awesome summer, a lot of work. I've been on the go on this farm all summer long, putting the heart and soul into it, and it's all for the love of the game. Love this place, love this property, and love the deer hunt. And it's been a privilege, folks. It's been a privilege to take you along with us. All the food plots are planted. Now the work is not necessarily done yet. We got some stuff we got to do still. Take down fences. We might have to fertilize some of the wintergreens here in a couple weeks. We got to keep our eye on things. But the hard, stressful work, if you will, is done. You learn a lot every year. You take things in stride. Don't be stressed out if things aren't absolutely perfect. But you learn what deer like, what deer don't like. You learn what grows good in certain fields, what doesn't grow good in certain fields. There's one thing to take away from planting food plots. The biggest thing is weed control. If you can control the weeds, you're gonna grow good quality forage for the deer. Anywhere on our property, and you can see in some areas with our corn where it's super light green or it's just super thin, not growing good, it's because most of the time there's weeds in those areas. We have a couple spots where we didn't test soil, and that plays a factor in it, but most of the spots where there's weeds, the crop isn't growing nearly as good. So take care of your weeds so that you don't fertilize them, and you'll likely have good quality food for your deer. Ladies and gents, it's been a privilege. Our plots look good this year. We got corn, beans, wintergreens are on the outside, and look at this. The low-hanging fruit, loaded with apples this year. We can't have any more food than we got. The table is set. Summer is closing down. Velvet bucks are daylighting. It's a great time of year, my favorite time of year, quite honestly. God bless America. I love you all. Food plot on.
I mean, what do you say? What do you say? Deano's my brother. I grew up with this cat, but in a state that it should not be done in a state that is the bottom 5 in the country for deer hunting, in a state that is one of the least coveted states in the country to kill a big buck. Deano has managed our land and the deer that encompass it for us to shoot big deer consistently year in and year out. I don't know who does it better in this industry. I really don't. And like I said, I'm biased, but these guys doing it out in Iowa, Kansas, Illinois, where big bucks grow on trees, hey, more power to you. But to be able to do it in New York and on a consistent basis is a whole different level of fantastic. And to be able to say that we've created this mecca on the land that we grew up hunting, you're witnessing a dream come true, folks. We can't thank you all enough for following along once again on this year's episodes of Food Plot Chronicles. And we've got to give a shout out to Rocky for sticking with us for 8 years, 6 of which we've been producing Food Plot Chronicles. It's been an amazing ride for everybody involved, and what can I say? There's nothing else to do but keep shooting our bows and count down the days till October 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with my great pleasure to sign off on this year's season of Food Plot Chronicles. I want to say thank you all once again. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will see you in a tree or in a blind on one of these food plots on October 1st. God bless.